Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hasidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to hopefully change our lives. This year is sponsored by Mrs. Faigy Schwei and family in honor of the first year of the year, in honor of the second yartzeit of the father-in-law, Shwei. He was one of the rabbanim in Crown Heights. Rav Hagain HaChasid Hatamim, Rav Aharon Ya'akov ben Harav HaChasid Hatamim. Mוהר, מרדכי אליהו ז"ל שוויי, דאתרא, Sefiras based in Tzedek, the Kehillah. He passed away on the Lamed Nissen, Afshin Pei. Yeah. Yertzeit Shnizke take of miyad the kiyum hayud. We kids around the Sheikh Niafar, who was saying, "Makar Mamash never should come be here with us. With Mashiach's coming." Okay, welcome to another episode of Hasidus in the Morning. Now we're going to learn from Derech Mitzvah. Derech Mitzvah is a sefer that was written by the Tzemach Tzedek, maamer, and he went through different mitzvahs and he talked about it in Tzemach Tzedek. And so we're going to learn this one. So I have it. We have it in different versions, but I'll use this book. Whoever has it has a few of these mitzvahs. I used to have in this version, and I used to have the actual sefer. Yeah, this is a very beautiful maamer. It's not very long, and yeah, it'll give us a powerful perspective on the myth of ahavas. Essentially, and specifically, the reason why we're doing it now is because when this first haOmer, one of the reasons why this time period is the time period of mourning, as we all know, it's because of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. That's one. It's because of the whole story with Yaakov's students that they had lacked ahavas Yisroel. Now, of course, their lacking of ahavas Yisroel wasn't like our lacking of ahavas Yisroel. It was on a whole different level. Never has a lot of praying about this. But one of the ways to masaken these issues is by having ahavas Yisroel. This is the perfect time to learn it. So the essential idea, the theme of the way it's brought down over here is that we have to look once we've recognized that we're all interconnected, all part of the same body, so to speak. So then it'll be much easier to have ahavas Yisroel. Ahavas Yisroel is not that you look at someone else different, separated from you, and I have to overcome that separateness and connect. Whereas ahavas Yisroel in this maamer, we're showing how essentially we're all really one. And so then once I look at that person as part of me, just like I have ahavas Yisroel for myself, I'll have ahavas Yisroel for them. It'll become very easy. This is the approach that the maamer takes. So let's see. First thing he'll bring down from the Sefer Chinuch, which is one of the Sfarim, one of the codifiers of the mitzvahs. There's a few people, Rambam, that they're like Sefer Mitzvahs. So he wrote down all the mitzvahs. Sefer Chinuch does that as well. So because it's Sefer Mitzvahs, the mitzvah of ahavas Yisroel, and he goes, let's understand this. Let's really discuss it. In the beginning, it'll be a little bit kabbalistic, but you'll see. It's very enjoyable. Okay, so wherever you have it in this sefer, it's page 14, and wherever else you guys are using. Okay, so in Parshas Kedeshim, in Sefer Chinuch, you bring down in Parshas Kedeshim, which is actually this week's Parsha, B'Hashgacha Pratis, Shaloi, you bring down the mitzvah 238, which is Shaloi Lisnei Chaver. You shouldn't hate your friend. Now, like it says, Lo Sisna Esachecha B'Vavecha. You shouldn't hate your friend in your heart. Quoting from Parshas Vayikra, Yutes Yuzayin, mitzvah Reish Lamed Ches 238. And another mitzvah that's connected with ahavas Yisroel is Le'ahav Kol Adam Yisrael, to love every single Jew, which is the mitzvah 243. Now, like it says, to love your friend like yourself. Just a quick, interesting idea and connection with this in himself the Saita. So the custom in Chabad is to learn during the Sefiras haOmer, Mesech the Saita. That's a different discussion why, but it says over there, very interesting. It brings down that when a person, the way they treat someone before they pass away where the person is getting stoned, whether they get stoned unclothed or clothed, and the svara, the logic behind the decision, it says there. It says because it says in the pasuk, so a person should have sort of a nice death, so to speak. On the process of about to die, it should be nice. It's a very interesting. So I was thinking about this. It's very interesting. Person is sentenced to death. And they're about to die. They're about to get stoned to death. And what does the Torah tell us? What is the Gemara bringing down? That before they pass away, we have to treat them nice with respect. Why? Because obviously so. Person about to die. Who cares about him anymore? He's seemingly they're worthless. It's done. They're deserving of death. But to get im kol zeh, nevertheless, we have an obligation to have obviously strong, treat them nicely, even before they pass away. So this is a beautiful introduction to this. Yeah, so we have two mitzvahs. We have one is you should not hate one's fellow. You shouldn't hate your friend. Like it says in the pasuk, and then we have the positive mitzvah is yisroel, like it says, which is mitzvah 243. So you do a maamer Hillel Zaken. It's known the famous story of Hillel Zaken. This is brought down over here in the Sefer Chinuch. Lager, Mishaf Shabbos, Lamed Aleph, Amud Aleph. There's all these stories brought down there. It's very interesting Gemara. So it says over the story about a ger that came to Hillel and Shammai. He wanted to megar. He wanted to become Jewish. So he asked, he said, I want to become Jewish, but on one foot. So he came to Beis Shammai and he pushed him away. He came to Beis Hillel and Beis Hillel said like this. That what is for you that is hated, don't do to your friends. And he said, this is the whole Torah. And the rest of it is a pirush, just an explanation on this idea. Now, of course, the obvious question that I'm sure everyone's thinking to themselves, really to think about it, this is the whole Torah, just obviously so. Have obviously, that's it, that's all I need. How about the whole Torah? And that's what we're going to discuss. We're going to bring up that topic. We're going to analyze this. So now the Tzemach Tzedek starts to get into this. It makes sense. This seemingly doesn't make any sense. So I could understand you're going to say mitzvahs that are between one person and another. So obviously, yisroel is very important. It's the stake of everything. Once you have once you have a love amongst each other, so then everything comes into those mitzvahs that are connected to someone else is very easy. What's that going to do with me and Hashem? I have to put on tefillin or whatever it is that's connected between us and God. I have to daven to Hashem. What's the difference? We say before we daven, we say, I think for myself to obviously so. What's that connected with God? So what's that to say? What's the connection with God? Keeping Shabbos. What's the difference if I have obviously or not in connection with Shabbos? And what's the Hillel saying? So this is the whole Torah. That the whole Torah is obviously so, and the rest is just the pirush. So how is this whole Torah? We find specifically Shevay that even more so by Hashem. It says in tzadakta ma'atitin lo, if you did righteousness, what have you accomplished for him? What you given to him? Okay, you do it like it's known. Gam noida mashikasuv. It's also known what it says. Shenach lemekar and tefillah. We say in the beginning of davening. It's proper to say before you daven. I take it on myself to love every single year like myself. Why do we have to do it? Why should we do this? Because this is the fundamental principle in serving Hashem. So we have to understand this. What's going on here? How is it that this is such a fundamental thing? So I think we'll maybe leave it here today, and then we'll continue, and we'll start it off tomorrow. That's sort of the introduction. That's really coming. That's really the from the Sefer Chinuch and the Tzemach Tzedek's question. Just end off with the story. Is that when I was years ago when I started getting into learning Chassidus a little bit, this is not before I understood Chassidus, but I learned this. I had this version. If you see it, and I started to learn it, and it's very interesting. One of the things I learned from this And this is sort of perspective, and I think I shared it before, that obviously, so if you think about it this way, when you look at a person, you have a friend and a person that you like it, but you don't like. Now, if you ever ask yourself, if you ever analyze it, what's the difference? Why do I like this person? Why do I not like that person? Now, you could come and say, this person I like, they have all these milers, all these good things about them. They're nice people and they treat me nicely and respectful and all these good things. Whereas the person I don't like, they're not nice to me, they're not respectful, and all the opposite character traits. Now, if you're honest with yourself, you'll also recognize that 1 second, the person that you like, your friends, they're not tzaddikim, they're not perfect. They have their faults, they have their issues. Where and you'd also would be, if you want to be honest, you also say that the person that you don't like, they also have some milers. Everyone has milers. So what is everyone has something that everyone has good things about them. So why is it that the person that you like, but you don't like, It's not because of the fact that the person you like has all these good things about him, and the person you don't like has all these bad things about him. Because everyone has good and bad. We all know ourselves. So the reason is what we focus on. Your friend, you focus on the good, just like ourselves. We all have good things and bad things. But what we focus on is the good things. And that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. But the person you don't like, what are you focusing on is the you don't like. And as Gordon says, he goes, in regards to a relationship, like in marriage, because if you're always focusing on the negative characters, the negative negativity of your spouse, then of course it's going to have a hard time. It's going to be a struggling marriage. But if you're always focusing on the positive, it'll be very easy. So to hear your friend, you recognize the reason I like your friend is because you focus on the positives of your friend. And if we can just work on focusing on the positives of the other person. Not have to be crazy, but at least let's be honest with ourselves and say, hey, that person has also these good miles. We see that it's already good stuff. What we're going to see here is even deeper, much easier. That's just a simple beginning stage to notice. To be continued tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining and have a great day.